What's going on, guys? My name is Akil Nova. Welcome back to the channel. And look, I know I never formally addressed this, but my entire channel was supposed to focus primarily on helping you guys build self-confidence while improving your social skills. So let's do that. This week, we're going to be talking about how to start a conversation with anyone. Now, one thing you guys might not know about me is that talking to people actually comes pretty naturally for me. And I am not trying to say that as a brag, because trust me, while I may have the gift of being extroverted, being able to talk to anyone, it wasn't a trait I was born with. In fact, my entire academic career, I did horrible. I mean, I got the worst grades since I could remember getting report cards. But while you guys were paying attention in class and doing your homework, I was busy trying to be a class clown. That's right. My main objective every day in school was to either make people laugh or make a new friend. And can I be honest? I'm not the least bit ashamed. Really, yeah, look, I may have flunked out of school nearly every year, but I am proud of having, I guess you can say, the ability to walk up to a group of people, spark up a conversation, and leave that interaction making a friend or two. And do you know why it's so damn important to improve your social skills? For somebody that has no experience in the field that I work in, I was able to land a job in the city at a prestigious company, all because my boss loved my energy and knew I would get along with the team. He cared more about finding an employee who was extremely extroverted and friendly rather than just any other ordinary person who could work their programs. And honestly, that says a lot. I mean, that day I realized that it's pretty rare to come across someone who can not only make conversation with people, but also make a connection with others. And this applies to you guys too, whether you're in college hoping to meet some new people in your online class, or maybe you just recently started a new job where you're faced to meet with your new team. It's important to know how to approach people and network, because in my opinion, the difference between making some new friends and feeling out of place is night and day. I know some people who work at their dream company, Google, but actually hate going to work every day because they simply just can't get along with their colleagues. And also, same goes for your college experience. I know a ton of people who went out of state that told me that making friends literally helped them get through the 4 years, because not only did they have somebody to create new memories with, but also somebody to study with. Now, obviously, the subject of improving your social skills and making new friends couldn't all be possibly broken down into just one video. So over the course of a couple months, I'll be posting more content going more in depth on this topic. So make sure that you're hitting the like button to show your support, and you're also subscribing so you don't miss out on the next installment. Cool, let's get started. There's a few things that I want to remind you guys before I should give you tips on how to start a conversation. The first thing to understand is that there is no perfect line. Please don't get hung up on searching for the perfect thing to open your conversation with, because in all honesty, that'll probably just lead you to start overthinking your approach, and then eventually you end up just not even going up to this person in the first place. It's so cliche to say this, but I literally live by that Nike slogan, just do it. I don't think, period, because I know myself, if I start questioning and start laying out all the various options on what I'm gonna say when I go up to this person, then I'll just end up never approaching them, and then you miss out on a potentially great friendship or date, you know, depending on your motive. I mean, that's just me though. This especially applies to me when I wanna talk to a girl that I think is really cute. If even for a second I start thinking about what I'm gonna say, I already know I lost. So before I even give myself a chance to think, I just force myself to walk up to the individual and then introduce myself or ask the question that I had in mind. This is an example for another time, but thinking less on what I'm gonna say helps me focus more on listening to what they're saying. And that's a major key, okay? Because when you're attentively listening to someone, it makes it that much easier for you to respond back with the right question or reply. Now, another thing to understand is that not everybody wants to chat with you, and that's totally okay. Now, because I'm a social person, whether it's in a Starbucks, the mall, a concert, even a bookstore, anywhere, I'm always trying to talk to someone and get a real meaningful interaction from it. But majority of the time, people either have their earphones in, or they're in a rush, or they're just simply not in the mood to talk. Look, not everybody has the energy to keep up a conversation as it is, let alone trying to chat up with some stranger on a Monday afternoon. So I totally get it. I mean, everybody's different and they're all dealing with their own shit. I mean, you just never know if somebody's going through something. Look, if you come across someone who's openly rude or shows disinterest, then cool, just move on. You'll find plenty of other people who would be more than thrilled to have someone come up to them and chat with them. Look, you have to understand that most people are just really shy or introverted, but they do want to interact and converse with people. They just don't want to be the first ones to start it. All right, and the last thing we need to understand is that going up to someone and saying, "So, tell me about you," is not a good opener or conversation starter. I mean, look, I know this sounds counterintuitive given that people love to talk about themselves, but your goal of controlling the conversation and trying to make it as smooth and seamless as possible is to narrow down your questions to specific topics. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to respond back to you. So when you say something like, so, tell me about you, is gonna overload that person's thought process, because now you got them thinking about all the different things that they like, and then their favorite food, and then their childhood traumas, and it's gonna be overbearing for them to the point where they have no choice but to reply back with, I don't know, what do you want to know? I mean, who hasn't gotten that type of response before? I used to get that all the time. But you see how their response is basically asking you to narrow down your question? They would rather you ask them specific questions like, so, what's your top 3 destination spots? Or, what's the last restaurant that you've been to that you fell in love with? Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, now we could focus on the 3 tips on how to start a conversation with someone. Alright, number 1 is to ask for their opinion on something and make sure to find commonality. Alright, let me explain this one in detail because I do this a lot. The first example that comes to my mind is actually me just standing in line at a Starbucks. Sometimes the line is so long that I'd rather chat with somebody to pass the time than sit and stare at my phone. Now, almost instinctively, because I know that it works for me every time, I'll resort to asking somebody for their personal opinion on something. But make sure that whatever it is that you're asking them, it relates to where you both are at the moment. Meaning, don't ask a stranger for their personal opinion on their favorite flavor of ice cream when you guys are in line at a Starbucks. Duh. Now, what I would ask is, hey, sorry to bother you, but I come to Starbucks all the time and I get the same bland Frappuccino. Do you have any suggestions on what I could try next? Or you could say, do you have a personal favorite that you go for every time? Now notice a couple things in that opener. I started off with, hey, sorry to bother you. And I do find that to be pretty important because you always want to be polite no matter who it is. I say that because for a lot of people, it makes a huge difference to throw in the sorry to bother you line, because for some people, they could get offended by you just barging your way into talking to them when they could either be busy or just simply not in the mood. Opening up with something as small as sorry to bother you could lighten things up and show that you respect their space and time. Now, moving on, I asked the question pertaining to Starbucks because it's me finding commonality. We're both at Starbucks, so it only makes sense to ask a question relating to it. Now, asking for their personal opinion actually does do a couple things. For one, it gets them talking about what they like. And 2, it actually makes them a little bit more excited to tell you because their satisfaction is gonna come from the hope that you end up picking the item that they recommended. Because believe it or not, people wanna know that their opinion does matter at the end of the day. But of course, you don't have to pick their favorite item. It's just a way to start the conversation. So if they reply back with, oh, I really love the strawberry green tea, that's my favorite, then you could bounce off of that and say, oh, nice, I haven't tried that one. So is strawberry your favorite fruit? Is that why you picked that one? And then voila, now you've gotten past the icebreaker. And honestly, anything they say after this is really just an invitation for you to introduce yourself. So after you guys have gone back and forth a couple times, then you can finally introduce yourself and say like, hey, so my name is Akil, by the way, what's your name? And then you could proceed to ask some questions to try to get to know them. It's very important to find commonality. Ask opinions related to where you guys are and what's around you. If you're at a wine museum, then you should be asking questions related to wine. You could ask for their opinion on their favorite wine and it's gonna get them talking. It only makes the most sense to ask for their opinion on wine because you kind of already understand that they might know a thing or two about it given that they're at this museum. So now you have something to discuss or argue about. Also, before I hop off of this particular topic, I do this at shopping malls all the time. If I'm going into a store, I ask for people's opinion on the shirt I'm either wearing or thinking of buying. Let them pick out your outfit. People want their opinions to hold value, and it's also a great way to start talking to someone. All right, number 2 is to come out with a compliment. No, and that is not an invitation for you to be complimenting her on her ass or her boobs, and nor should you be eyeing those things when starting a conversation. I don't know, I just feel like I had to leave that disclaimer for some people. Compliments are an excellent way to break the ice between you and another individual because as long as your compliment is sincere and specific, then you've instantly got this person flattered and making them warmer to you and more willing to participate in the conversation. Like I said, individuals love to talk about themselves. So if you could be sincere in your compliment, you pick something like her shoes, then it can only brighten up her mood because finally somebody took the time to notice. As guys, we can be very oblivious to a lot of things, and understanding that every girl is very meticulous in choosing what she wears and her appearance is something that we easily overlook. Look, a lot of girls that we come across on a daily basis are putting hours and hours of time into their makeup, their hair, their nails, clearing up their skin, wearing the right shoes, pants, top, all the way down to even the purse that she chose to use today. So all they want from time to time is for somebody to notice and appreciate it. And guys, we're the same. I mean, we subconsciously pay for expensive Ultra Boosts and haircuts because we want someone to notice too and compliment us and, you know, every now and then give us reassurance that we're killing it in this outfit. And honestly, if we're like that, then why shouldn't we assume that others are as well? Alright, anyways, I need to put some emphasis on the word sincere when it comes to giving a compliment. Because telling a girl that you love her hair when it was literally just raining outside and her hair is all frizzed up is definitely gonna make her think that you're just being a sarcastic douchebag. Plus, she knows that her hair looks terrible. She doesn't need to be reminded of it. And same goes for calling somebody out on their pimple. Like, I don't know why people do this. Maybe you think you're being cute because you're teasing the girl or something, but the absolute last thing a girl needs is you pointing out her acne. Look, me personally, I don't compliment anyone unless I truly mean it. Like, for example, if I like what somebody's wearing, I want to let them know, like, yo, I gotta be honest, I love your style. You're killing it in this outfit right now. See, now you've opened up this conversation with somebody while appreciating the time that they took to putting this outfit together, while also letting them know that they look really good in it. A majority of the time, people are very shy, especially when put on the spot or given compliments, so they might reply back with a simple like, oh, thanks, that's very sweet of you. But it is your job to keep the convo going. You want to get them talking or at least chuckle a little bit. If they find it funny, then you can continue to tease them. And now you're complimenting someone while also making a light joke to ease the pressure and tension. All right, number 3 is to start with an observation. Sometimes you don't even have to come up with the right question to ask someone when you can simply just point out something that you've noticed and bring to their attention. All right, so let me use my example of what happened at Walmart the other day. So because of the health crisis we're all dealing with, Walmart is only allowing a certain amount of shoppers inside their building, which means the rest of the customers have to wait outside in line. So I was finally at the door waiting for a customer to walk out so that I could go in. Now there's maybe about like 10, 15 people behind me in line. So seconds before an employee came out to call me, there was an old dude, by the way. I don't know where this man came from, but he didn't have any gloves on, and the mask he was wearing was really just a small t-shirt wrapped around his face, and he just came out of nowhere and then walked right past me and stood right at the door. Now, I'm obviously looking around, absolutely baffled that's what just happened, right? Because I'm just like, wait, did this guy just cut me in line? Wait, where did he come from? And what type of t-shirt is that anyway? So I look back at this lady and her daughter, and we exchanged this look that was just kind of like, did that just happen? Now, I didn't cause a scene because, in all honesty, I didn't really care that much. Plus, he was an older man, so he was probably more of a priority than I am. But I did manage to make a couple friends simply by observing something and wanting to point it out and share it with somebody. Me and the family laughed about it, and we started, making fun of his bootlegged mask and his lack of gloves, but it eventually just led us to introducing ourselves and chatting to pass the time. Now, the beauty of starting a conversation with an observation is that it requires no effort on your part. You don't have to find something to compliment, and you also don't have to ask for personal opinions. All you have to do is just react to something you just observed and let the person next to you know. Whether or not the stranger noticed the same thing as you or not, it doesn't really matter, because if it's absurd and interesting enough, you can grab the nearest person and tell that individual, and they'd respond back if they were interested in the conversation. The YouTuber Charisma on Command, shout me out bro, uses the example of sitting at a bar and then seeing a literal cowboy with the hat, the outfit, and the boots to match walk into this bar, and that was absurd enough for him to have to just grab the nearest person and be like, hey, did you just see that cowboy that just walked in, or am I just hallucinating? And also, it doesn't have to be something that you see in person. It could be like some controversial news that just came out that you felt the need to share with somebody. You want to find something that doesn't offend anybody, that isn't too incredibly depressing and morbid, and it's just something that's simply fun and interesting enough to want to share with someone. And if they respond positively and show that they're interested, then you could continue on with this topic a little more before finally introducing yourself. Yeah, that's it, people. That's all the tips I have for this week's video. That was fun, man. Seriously, like, I actually love talking about how to approach people and spark up conversations, because it's truly something that I love to do. It's something I've been basically doing my entire life, so why not share it with you guys? Everybody in this world has their own unique story, background, and experiences, and I've always found it to be a thrill to ask questions to try to get to know these things. And look, don't ever be discouraged if somebody comes off really rude or disrespectful to you when you're just simply trying to start up a conversation. We just don't know what people are going through on a daily basis. Now, although being rude is totally uncalled for, we have to understand that they might be going through something, and we should be the bigger persons to just remove ourselves from that interaction. And seriously, take my word for it, just move on, because for every person that comes off as a dick to you, there's easily 7 or 8 more people that would be more than thrilled and more than happy to have somebody come up to them and chat with them. And trust me, humans are starving for interactions. Like I said before, they want to meet new people and jump into conversations. They just don't want to be the first ones to start it. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video of me rambling on about how to go up to random people and annoy them, then smash the like button because apparently it really helps and the YouTube gods have told me. And also subscribe to the channel because it shows your support and it also lets me know that you love me. And what else do I have to say? Oh yeah, don't overthink it. People who belong in our life will make the conversation as smooth and seamless as possible. We have to understand that a conversation is a 50-50 effort at the end of the day. You put the work in of walking up to someone to start the conversation, and it's also their job to keep the conversation going if they truly care. So don't stress about it too much. If one person doesn't want to talk to you, it's probably because they're whack anyway, and they don't deserve your awesome friendship. So move on and find somebody who will. Cool. My name is Akil Nova. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe and show your love, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.